Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Rabab Kaur. I'm a therapist and I've specialized in musculoskeletal. Today I am making a lecture on the behalf of School of Medical and Allied Sciences, Calcutta's University. Today I'll be discussing practical number 3 of biochemistry, that is to summarize balanced diet plan. Since our childhood, we have been hearing this term balanced diet from our parents, from our teachers, from our peer group, from our colleagues. What it is actually, how do we know that yes, we are taking a balanced diet plan? We will read all about this in our further session for today. Recapitulations. Now let us see what did we read about this practical session in our previous class. We read about the biochemistry of connective tissues. We saw how connective tissues work, how do they function, what are the different types or varieties of connective tissues available in our human body, what are the various cells of the connective tissue. So it was all more about a connective tissue what we were reading next in the previous class. Today we'll be discussing more of the diet and a balanced diet plan. So the objective of today's presentation is to summarize the balanced diet plan. We will also be learning about the nutritional importance of fats, carbohydrates, proteins, minerals, and vitamins. We all know that these are the components which we require for a healthy functioning of our body. We'll be seeing the nutritional importance of each of them today. Introduction. Balanced diet is a diet which contains all the nutrients required by an individual according to their age. Now, at every age, you require a particular amount of nutrient in a particular or in a particular amount. You just cannot go on with taking a amount which you were taking in the childhood in your adulthood. So according to age, the amount of a particular nutrient varies. Sex, that is our gender, males and females may require nutrition or a particular nutrient in different amounts of variety. Occupation and lifestyle in adequate amount to support and maintain life without any disease or to remain healthy. It takes into account the additional requirement of various nutrients for various physiological states like growth, old age, pregnancy, lactation, etc. The components of balanced diet are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, mineral, and water. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are also called proximate principles of diet. Why are they known as proximate principles of diet? Because they are the basic components necessary for survival. So along with carbohydrates, proteins and fats, we also require vitamins, mineral and water from outside sources. Since vitamins are not produced by our body, it is completely dependent on our diet that how much amount of vitamins are we consuming on daily basis. We will discuss about vitamins much more in detail in our next sessions. So for introducing you guys to this balanced diet, I have included a short video which will be self-explanatory in itself. What is balanced diet and what happens due to its non-nourishment of an individual. We will also discuss about each component in detail. So let's see a small video on this. So first of all, we'll be reading about the nutritional role of carbohydrates. Now there are the first component comes is dietary carbohydrates. Now carbohydrates should provide 60 to 70% of the total calories of requirement per day. 50% of these should be provided by complex carbohydrates. We discussed in our video previously that the complex carbohydrate means starch, which is broken down into glucose, that is the simplest form of energy. Complex polysaccharides present in cereals, rice, legumes, etc., are preferred because they release glucose slowly and also provide vitamins and minerals. So, apart from vitamins and minerals which are provided to our body via fruits and other out sources, complex polysaccharides, when broken up, they also are a good source of providing us with vitamins and minerals. Processed and refined foods should be avoided as they just provide calories without vitamins and minerals, and this term is known as empty calories. So processed and refined foods should be actually deleted or depleted from our diet because they may provide us with calories, but there is no use of that energy since we are not getting any amount of vitamins and minerals in our diet. Coming to the next point, fructose, sucrose, etc. are not preferred because they bypass glucose metabolism and cause hyperlipidemia. Fructose and sucrose, as we all know, is commonly present in the foods. They are the natural forms of sugar which we can easily find in the fruits. Next is glycemic index of foods. Glycemic index of food refers to the magnitude of rise of blood glucose following its intake. So as we all know, when we eat food, we tend to have a little sleepishness, a little lethargic attitude. That is because the glucose is increased in our body after a particular diet, and that causes lethargy and sleepiness in us. Refined sugar raises the level more than the complex polysaccharides, from which sugars are released slowly during digestion and so do not lead to very high and quick release in blood glucose level. So the benefit of though refined sugar should not be taken since they are complex polysaccharides. But one benefit which I have in mind about refined sugar is though yes they do not increase the blood glucose level immediately, they release it slowly throughout the day. It is a very good source of energy for a person who has to go on a long day without any food nearby. So slowly and steadily the amount of energy released via the blood glucose or the sugar which is being released helps the individual to continue throughout the day. Diabetics should take low glycemic index foods because they have decreased insulin activity. Now decreased insulin activity can cause increased amount of diabetic attacks or maybe increased blood sugar level in the body leading to uncontrolled diabetes. Now the third component under nutritional role of carbohydrates is dietary fibers. We all know this term dietary fibers. We have been hearing this since our childhood. Dietary fiber is a collective term used to include all the indigestible carbohydrate in diet. It usually includes plant carbohydrates like hemicellulose, lignins, pectins, etc. So these are generally the indigestible carbohydrates in our diet. Now let us see what are the various benefits of dietary fibers. Since we read about them that they are indigestible carbohydrates, they must be having some benefits. The first benefit is relieving and or preventing constipation. Dietary fibers absorb water, increase in bulk, soften stools, and stimulates bowel movement to prevent or relieve constipation. So this is one major advantage or benefit of taking dietary fibers in our diet. Decrease blood cholesterol and atherosclerosis. Dietary fibers decrease absorption of bile salts and dietary lipids and so enhance their excretion. Together, all these effects reduce blood cholesterol level and risk of atherosclerosis. It also has a benefit of prevention of colon cancer and other diseases. Colon cancer refers to the intestine cancer. This is due to the interference of dietary fibers in the absorption of carcinogens. So by this we can imagine how beneficial are dietary fibers in our daily intake of diet. It improves the blood glucose tolerance level. Now dietary fibers delay gastric emptying and so reduce the postprandial rise in blood glucose. So these were the basic nutritional role of carbohydrates, which also enhanced our knowledge on the benefits of dietary fibers. Proceeding on, let's look at the nutritional role of proteins. Now 5 to 10% of total calories should be met by proteins. As we all know that proteins are the building blocks of our body, helps in building up of muscles and maintaining their shape in size and power. Average daily requirement is 0.8 to 1 gram per kg per day. It should be able to maintain the nitrogen balance in our body. Now there are three classes of proteins, or there is a biological value of protein. Let's discuss them in detail. Now first class protein. It contains all the essential amino acids in adequate amount. Milk protein casein, egg protein albumin, fish and meat proteins are first class proteins. Now let's see second class protein. A second class protein is deficient in one or more essential amino acids. The most deficient amino acid is called the limiting amino acid of the protein. Vegetable proteins are usually second class proteins. What is the biological value of protein? It refers to the amount of protein nitrogen retained by the body after absorption. Often the foods are processed to improve their biological value. For example, heat-treated soya protein improves its digestibility and has high biological value than untreated soya protein. Methionine absorption is also better in heat-treated soya protein. Coming to the next, let's see what is the nutritional role of fats. Fats are essential for diet because they are concentrated sources of energy, provide fat-soluble vitamins and essential fatty acids. Animal fats like ghee, butter, meat, etc. are not preferred as they contain saturated fats which are atherogenic. Vegetable oils are sources of both mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids, that is MUFA and PUFA. PUFA are cardioprotective and decrease the blood cholesterol level. Present recommendation of fats is as under. Total fats 15 to 20% of total calories are required. This should be equally divided into fats containing saturated fatty acid, MUFA and PUFA, that is about 30% of each. Cholesterol from diet should not exceed 250 mg per day. In effect, animal fat should be minimized. Vitamins. Now there are two kinds of vitamins. We will read about vitamins much more in detail in our next sessions. But let's see what are vitamins. There are two kinds of vitamins, the water-soluble vitamins and the fat-soluble vitamins. Now water-soluble vitamins. Many water-soluble vitamins act as coenzymes. They are essential for normal metabolism, including synthesis of important compounds. They affect tissues that are dividing or metabolizing rapidly, such as skin, blood cells, gastrointestinal tract mucosa, etc. And symptoms usually are dermatitis, anemia, digestive difficulties, and neurological disorders. They are heat and light sensitive and are also destroyed during cooking and storage. Fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K and present in fatty foods like meat, egg yolk, milk, dairy products, vegetable oils, and leafy vegetables. They are involved in special functions like vision, coagulation, bone mineralization, etc. Minerals. Now, minerals include calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, potassium, chloride, and sulfur. Minerals are widely distributed in whole grain cereals, fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy products, seafood, etc., but are present in low amounts. Men aged between 50 to 70 years need 1000 mg each day. Men aged 71 and older and women aged 51 and older need 1200 mg of minerals each day. We should not consume more than 2000 mg of minerals in each day. So what did we study in our today's presentation? We summarized the balanced diet plan, what components are included in a balanced diet plan, in what quantity they should be taken, what are they, how glucose helps us in giving us instant energy, how starch is converted into glucose. We also learnt about the nutritional importance of fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. We discussed some new terms, that is malnutrition, that is deficiency of a deficiency of major components of nutrients in our diet. We discussed about deficiency of a particular nutrient, and overnutrition. So I hope this session was clear to you and was quite informative. Thank you.